Hey Ginger, are you there? I just wanted to ask you if you had come over recently.
Oh, yes. I went over to your house not that long ago, actually. But I've already gone home since I went over.
Ah, I see. Yes, that's what I thought. I had the sense that someone was standing in front of my house.
Wow. Well, you sure do have some kind of sixth sense on you, don't you?
Well, I just figured that it was you because I don't know anyone else who would leave something like this at my house. So, anyways, do you care to explain what all these broken electronics and appliances are? This looks like trash to me.
Well, that is just a little bit rude, don't you think? Of course I didn't leave trash at your house. Those are just things I had at home that I don't use anymore. I thought that since I don't use them now, you all might be interested in taking them off of my hands.
I see. Is that why you dropped them all off here? Well, that is very nice of you, but we actually just went out and did a big shopping trip. So we actually don't need any appliances or small electronics or anything like that.
Oh no, you're kidding me. And to think that after I put in the work to bring them all the way to your house, you really can be quite cruel sometimes, do you know that?
Well, I'm sorry. I'm really not trying to be any of those things at all. But it's just that we have a new version of all of the things that you've brought here already. And since we don't have all that much space for storage at our place, I just don't know what to do with all of this.
Oh, I see. So that's the issue then, is it? Well, that's okay. You can just toss out all that I brought you if you have newer versions. Of course, I think some of those things might be a little too big to take out on a regular trash day, so you might have to drive out to the dump and deliver it there.
So you want us to go ahead and do all of that? You think we should throw away all of your things?
Well, they're not my things anymore. I've already given them to you now, haven't I? So I really have no idea why you would imply that I should be the one to take them out.
Right. Okay. I think I see where this conversation is going. But, okay, that's fine. We can throw it out, no problem.
Oh, thank you so much for doing that, dear. You are going to save me a world of trouble by doing so. Oh, and by the way, I just wanted to check. Is Ben still on his business trip?
Yes, unfortunately Ben is still away, but that means that I have a lot more to do around the house now. I really have gotten quite busy ever since he left, if I can be perfectly honest with you.
Oh, I just feel so bad for my little Benjamin sometimes. I mean, to think. He must be so busy and work so hard having to deal with a wife like you at home.
I don't really like the way that you've worded that. What do you mean, a wife like me?
Oh, come on. Surely you must understand what I'm trying to say to you right now, right? I mean, you've been trying to have kids for a while now, right?
Yes, we have been trying for kids. But I still don't see what you mean by a wife like me.
I'm just saying that even if you weren't trying for kids, I would think that a compatible and happy couple would be able to get pregnant right away. But you've been trying for kids for some time now, and still have nothing at all to show for it. That's why I was against you two getting married from the very start.
Well, I'm so sorry that our sex life is not going the way that you wish it was, Ginger.
I still can't just understand at all what it is that my little Ben sees in a woman like you. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all. But you really ought to be more grateful for all that you've been blessed with. Do you know that? Hey, you've got out of the day, haven't you?
I'm sorry, Ginger, but how in the world do you even know that I'm not at home right now?
Because I've passed by your house twice now, and I noticed that the car isn't in the driveway. You must really be enjoying having a husband like Ben to take care of you. But you should know that better than go spend the whole day out having fun. Especially while my poor son is away on a business trip, all to provide for you. But let me guess. You're probably out on the streets spending time with some other man, aren't you?
I really am doing nothing of the sort at all, and I don't appreciate that suggestion.
So you say. And yet if you weren't out cheating, then there would be no reason for you to leave the house. So what do you say about that?
Actually, if you really must know, I was going to go and visit my mom, and I'm on my way back now. She wasn't feeling well, and she wanted someone to take her to the doctor, so that's what I was doing.
Oh yeah, I'm so sure that your mom was feeling sick, but couldn't manage to take herself to the doctor. You've been using the sick mom excuse for some years now.
You're right, I have been, but it's not an excuse. My mom has an illness with no cure, and sometimes she feels really bad and wants to go and see a doctor who can prescribe something to deal with the symptoms.
Well, that just sounds like a terrible person to have around in your family. That must be really hard on your whole family to have to deal with that.
Well, normally my brother and his wife are able to take care of her since they all live together. But it had been a while since I had seen my mom, so I wanted to take her to the doctor this time.
I see. And tell me, is it possible for whatever your mom has to be passed down genetically? Aren't you worried that your future baby might get this? Are you sure that a woman like you should even be having a baby in the first place?
And just what is that supposed to mean, Ginger? Why do you always say a woman like me?
I'm just saying that if your mom has some kind of horrible sickness that causes her pain, I would hate for that to be passed along to your child. And if you said that there's no cure either, right? So don't think that it's irresponsible for you to be trying for a kid.
I understand your concern, but my mom is actually the first person in my family to ever get something like this. So I think that the chances of it getting passed along are really quite low. The doctors even ran several tests to make sure that that was basically the situation, and all seemed to agree.
Well, sure. The doctors might think they agree, but they really can't be certain, can they? I mean, there is a 0% chance of it getting passed down.
I don't think that a doctor would ever say that there's a 0% chance of something happening.
So there you go. You admit that there is a chance that your kid could end up with whatever it is that your mom has. Oh my, I just really don't know what I'm going to do with you. Why did my poor son have to marry into your horrible gene pool? My poor little baby.
Look, even if the gene that carried this sickness is passed down, there is still the chance that it won't even manifest in a body that has it.
So then, basically, you're saying that you're willing to take the risk with your own child's health? This isn't some debt that you might have taken out and passed down to your kids. This is a lifelong disease.
I really don't think that you know as much as you think you might when it comes to this.
Of course I do. What have I said that isn't just repeating what you've been saying this whole time?
Look, the fact of the matter is that the doctors don't actually know where my mom got this sickness from. They haven't even said if it is something passed down genetically, so I really don't appreciate talking about my family's bad gene pool.
You really are such a rude woman, do you know that? Who do you think you are sassing me like this?
I'm not trying to sass you or anything like that at all. I'm just asking you not to blame someone for something you don't understand. Not even the doctors really know what caused this development in my mom, so I don't think that you should be jumping to conclusions either.
I'm not jumping to any kind of conclusion at all. I'm just saying what you said, that there is a chance it's genetic, right? And that's why you have to be careful too.
Well, that isn't what any of the doctors have been telling me about this.
So, I guess you're saying that I'm the bad guy then, is that right? You're trying to blame me for all this now. Honestly, you are just horrible sometimes. If Ben had any idea how awfully you've been treating me, just what do you think he would have to say to you, huh? Hey, Grace. I just wanted to let you know that I noticed your car was still out. Just how late are you going to be out of the house?
My car is actually in the shop right now, if you must know.
Oh, I see. So does that mean that you're in the house right now then?
That's right. I am at home, although right now I'm actually about to go and run some errands.
And is one of those errands checking in on your mom at the hospital? You sure do seem to have an awful lot of time on your hands.
I wouldn't say it's free time. My brother called me and told me that my mom was in a really bad way.
Oh, I see. Well, that doesn't sound good at all now, does it?
Exactly, so I'm actually pretty worried right now, especially since I don't have a car.
And I take it that my son is still away on his business trip, is that right? So then tell me, where are you going to go right now anyways?
I was going to take a taxi to the hospital to see my mom.
You were really going to take a taxi all the way to the hospital just to see your mom? Do you have any idea of the kind of money that it's going to cost?
Yes, I know it's not going to be cheap, but my brother really wants me to be there for my mom right now.
Well then, I guess it sounds like there really isn't a choice, is there? How about I pick you up and take you to see your mom?
Wait, really? You mean that you would really do that for me?
Of course, Grace. I mean, you didn't actually think I was some kind of heartless evil mother-in-law or something, did you?
No, of course I didn't. I would never think that. But anyways, you really will take me all the way to the hospital?
Of course. Although, if you want to hear my personal opinion, I actually don't like you all that much. But the fact of the matter is that you're my son's wife, and if you need help, then I think it's my duty to be there for you if I can.
Ginger, I don't know what to say. Thank you so much. That really means a lot to me. I promise to never ever forget that you've done this for me. This is going to be a huge help.
It's not a problem at all, dear. You just get ready what you need and I'll be there shortly.
Okay, great. Sounds good. I'll see you in a little bit. Ginger, you really need to get back here right now. I mean, really, what is the matter with you? Why in the world did you drive me up the mountain and kick me out? Come back here and pick me up.
Man, you really fell for that hook, line, and stinker, didn't you?
Fell for it? What do you mean by that?
You still didn't know what I'm talking about? Did you really think that I would ever go out of my way to try and do something nice for you? If you think that that's what I was doing, then you're an even bigger idiot than I thought.
Can you please just knock this off already? Don't you understand that my mom could be in serious trouble right now?
Well, it sounds to me like you better start finding your way down the mountain if you want to see it in town. Who knows? You still might be able to make it there in time if you hurry.
Please, Ginger, this is just too much, don't you think? I mean, why in the world would you do this to me? My mom could be on her deathbed, about to die, and you abandon me like this? Do you really hate me that much? What did I do to you to deserve getting treated like this?
I guess you still just don't get it, do you? I've always hated you. And the reason why is because someone like you will never ever be good enough for my son. Honestly, even thinking about you being married to my son is enough to make me sick with rage.
Please, Ginger, I really don't have time to deal with this right now. Can you please just bring me to see my mother? I can't know that I was up in the mountains while she was lying sick in a hospital bed dying. This is too cruel, even for you. I am begging you here.
And just why in the world should I do anything for you, huh? What makes you think you're good enough for me to do something for? Ever since you married my son, you've caused this family nothing but trouble. It's high time you learn the consequences of stealing my son away like this. Maybe this will teach you never to take such an uppity attitude with me again. So, what do you think of that?
But I never once took any kind of attitude with you at all. I've always tried to get along with you.
Oh, please, don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. You're always talking back to me and arguing, and you know it.
Are you talking about earlier when you were messaging about my mom's sickness? I was only giving you my opinion and telling you what the doctors had said about it.
And that's your problem right there. You should have put your mother-in-law's opinion over all those other ones.
So you mean that you're doing this all because you're still mad about that conversation? Don't you think that this is just a little bit over the top?
Of course not. I'm doing what I need to in order to make sure that you learn your place in this family. Just hope you learn your lesson this time.
Please, it won't happen again, I promise. Just please, pick me up and take me to my mom. I am begging you. That's all I want in the world right now. I just want to see my mom. If you come and pick me up right now, there still might be enough time to get me there.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry, but looking at the time, I've got a hair appointment in about 30 minutes. I would hate to be late to that, so you'll have to find your way down by yourself. But anyways, good luck getting yourself to the hospital. I'm sure that you can make it.
I don't believe it. I am begging you to do this for me. Please, Ginger.
You get over there right now. What is the matter with you? Haven't you seen all the messages that I've been trying to send you? You better tell me why Ben isn't answering any of my messages right this second, Grace.
Excuse me? You have got some nerve talking to me like that after what you've put me through today. I mean, what in the world makes you think that I owe you any kind of help after what you just did?
Oh, come on. Are you still upset about me leaving you up in the mountains? Okay, fine. I'm sorry. There. Are you happy now?
I had to go out on the road and find someone who was willing to drive me back into town after you left me. And thankfully, by the time I got to the hospital, my mom was still alive.
Well then, I really don't get what the big deal is here at all. But anyway, I'm at the hospital now, so how about you come and visit me?
I am never, ever going to do that for you, Ginger.
But why not? I just told you that I'm in the hospital too.
My mom is still in a really delicate place right now. I am going to stay here with her and make sure she's okay.
But what about me? You're not really just going to leave me here like this, are you? Don't you know that I'm getting surgery tonight?
And just why do you think I should care about that, huh? You were the one who got into an accident after leaving me behind. I can't see how this is anyone else's fault but your own.
You can't actually mean that, right? I'm in a really bad way over here. How can you be so cruel?
The only cruel one here is you, Ginger. So I'm glad that you got into an accident after what you did.
But please, I can't even feel my legs anymore. I need you here with me. I don't know what's going to happen to me. I'm scared.
Well, you can be scared and not know what's going to happen to you all by yourself. I am going to be right here and stay by my mom's side instead.
Well then, can you at least reach out to Ben and tell him to come and see me in the hospital? I tried calling him, but he won't pick up his phone.
That's because I told Ben all about what you did to me. I told him about how you drove me up to a mountain and kicked me out while I thought my mom was dying in a hospital bed. He had no idea that you had been treating me so poorly this whole time. Of course, that partially has to do with the fact that I never said anything so as to not upset him. But after what you did, I decided that I didn't care at all what he thought of you.
So then, you're telling me that the two of you are just going to ignore me and leave me here? My own son is going to leave me all alone in the hospital? How could he do that? That's horrible. Doesn't he know I could be in serious trouble here?
I don't think Ben really cares at all what happens to you now. In fact, I think we're both never going to talk to you again. So why don't you do us both a favor and just leave us alone?
But he's just not coming to see me because he's busy with work, right? That's all that's going on, isn't it?
Oh no. When I told Ben about my mom, he said that he talked to his boss and was going to come early.
But that's not fair. He should be coming to my side, not your mom's side. I'm his mother, not her.
Do you really think that that has anything to do with why Ben isn't going to see you? I just told you that we want nothing to do with you ever again because of what you did to me.
But doesn't he know that I was in a car accident? Doesn't he know that I'm all battered and bruised right now? Who knows what could happen if the surgery doesn't go well for me? They're going to put me under and then anything could happen. I don't know if I'll ever wake up after that. What if I'm never able to walk again?
If you're trying to make me feel bad for you, it is not going to work, Ginger. That was an accident that you got into yourself because of a terrible thing that you did. Ben and I have nothing to do with it at all, but I do feel sorry for all the other cars wrapped up in what you did.
Oh, who cares about them? I'm the most injured out of everyone who was involved in the wreck. And my car is completely kaput. It was a really bad crash.
So even after all this, you still only care about yourself. I really don't know why I expected anything better from you.
Can you stop trying to lecture me? I've been seriously injured here. I don't need this from you.
You know what? I don't even know why I'm wasting my time talking to you when I should be spending time with my mom. There's clearly no point in trying to talk any sense into you at all. So if you've got nothing else to say to me, I wish you the best in your surgery, and then I wish to never, ever think of you again. Ben arrived to the hospital a few hours after I sent my last text to Ginger. There, we were both able to be there with my mom. As for Ginger, she was at the hospital by herself, and Ben never said a word to her until after we had done my mom's funeral. He only contacted her to tell her that we never wanted to see her again, and he left her in the hospital where she was still recovering from surgery. When Ben came back home, he was in tears over what he had to do. The crash that Ginger caused didn't only hurt her, as she might have thought. It involved a multiple-car pileup with her having crashed into a house. After the lawsuits and hospital bills were paid, Ginger was left handicapped and penniless. I suppose the only silver lining there is that Ginger will never be able to drive again. Ben and I packed our bags after that and moved away to be closer to my family and far enough that Ginger would never be able to reach us. We're much happier now that we've been able to put that whole episode behind us. Even though it was hard, even Ben agrees that it's for the best we don't contact Ginger anymore. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.